Shadow Greninja water streaking farms down and finds itself with one shield to hide behind versus the world. Out comes Celio. Greninja fires off the Night Slash. We get the boost and we are off to the races. Greninja going to instantly put up that Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Body Slam. Greninja over farms, fires off the Night Slash. Celio, you sir might think you're thick, but are you thick enough? Down goes Celio. Back out comes Ludicolo, but Ludicolo going to be straight in and straight out. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Jamie Finn 1415. Last weekend, or perhaps the weekend before, I've kind of forgotten already, we had a Team Rocket Takeover. And for the last 3 or 4 years, every single time we had a Team Rocket Takeover event, I've put to work all the Shadow Pokemon to tell you my honest opinion, to see whether they're good or not. Despite the fact, I'll be honest, I'm not really playing this game. I did grind a little bit. I was able to get a Greninja, so you better believe we're about to put it to work. Team building, nice and simple. I am a very basic, you can call me a basic bitch if you want. It's a poison double dark team. Grimer's going to be the anti-fairy in the lead position. Sableye is going to look to bait out said fairy type, and hopefully Greninja's going to sweep the backline. At least that's the theory anyway. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1 we see a neutral lead with Grimer into Celio. I haven't played in a while, but I am running ABB teams. What I should be doing here is looking to pivot out into Sableye. I tank the Surf, Grimer loses almost all its HP, so now if the opponent's got a Fairy, let's be honest, I'm probably absolutely fucked. I do eventually make the pivot into Sableye. Arguably, I should shield the Surf here, but you know what? We've got a Greninja, which is hella glassy, even before it becomes a Shadow, so I'm going to try and 2-shield it. We do manage to bet out an Altaria. I full sent the Dazzling Gleam, unfortunately, which bounced off the protection. My rank 1 Sableye holds strong, reaches the foul play for some very, very much needed chip damage. It's now to see what this Greninja can do. I do have 2 shields, but unfortunately for me, you cannot shield quick moves. The opponent makes a very big mistake, farming up a boatload of energy. I believe they're actually doubled up here before they fire off any energy. So with that in mind, they're forced to shield the Night Slash. Not that I think Night Slash would have knocked them out. Well, I guess it's better to be safe than sorry. I very quickly find myself with no shields to hide behind. The opponent pivots out into the Pancake. The Pancake going to be greeted with the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon, massive damage. Quick switch into Grimer. Grimer able to snipe. Back out comes Altaria. Altaria about to eat a sludge to the face. Get that Altaria off my screen. We mud slap farm down Celio. Who was worried? Evidently I was, but I'm able to emerge victorious. GG's that opponent. In the next battle, we see the ever-annoying Marshmallow in the lead position. The opponent save switches into Drifblim. And the reason I've actually gone Sableye here is I believe it's probably some kind of bullshit toxic team, I'll be honest. I haven't been watching any content. Carbink, Bastion, hopefully something, some kind of tank that's going to get absolutely shit on by my Greninja. I, of course, do sell out for switch advantage. Invest in a protection knowing that alignment is going to be absolutely key in this battle. Back out comes the Marshmallow. We are going to fire for Dazzling Gleam, even at -1. Put him in a range where one singular sludge should knock out. Marowak. This is in theory weak to water, but water shrieking, I'm not really doing too much fast move pressure. It's doing objectively less than these neutral mud slaps. We're going to fire off the next Night Slash, which will be forcing the opponent all shields down. And you can see the opponent is actually doubled up here. However, now I've got a decision to make. I'm now receiving the energy for the Mud Bomb. Is the opponent going to catch, or are they going to remain on my screen? I think the safe play is always throw this move. The opponent went for a catch. I'd go for an undercharge. Look to Mud Slap farm down afterwards. Or to be honest, I don't even think I needed to undercharge. Wigglytuff was pretty healthy. Would have survived the Mud Bomb either way. Grimer will be cleaning up, and no toxic team shall pass today. I would say GG's, but fuck it. That opponent playing absolute nonsense. So get wrecked. Heading into the next battle. I lead Shadow Grimer into a Zoom Roll. Essentially where the team wants to see it. If I was on Poison Jab, this would be a very, very commanding matchup. Even on Mud Slap, it's still pretty good, as you can see. The 5 Mud Slaps and a Sludge do put this Zoom Roll in a range where I should be able to Mud Slap farm down afterwards. I actually do make the pivot and ends up being a simultaneous swap. And I guess this is kind of good for me. I say kind of, this is such a scuffed matchup. Dark, double resist Psychic. Normal, double resist Ghost, but they're kind of a Psychic type 2, so my Shadow Claws are single resisted. Well, I guess it's positive for me as foul play would be super effective, and I get there in just 10 turns. My huge balls, despite not playing for ages, still I do not shield baits. The opponent realises that no bait shall be shielded in my house. Finally full send a Trailblaze, but Greninja now can hit the field of play and look to massively overfarm. I correctly shot the Trailblaze. The opponent sends out a Azumarill. I could have went Grimer here, but you know what's even more fun? Fish for the boost. Where's my bloody boost? No boost does occur, but I heavily overfarm. Fire off yet another Night Slash. Boost. Still no boost, but we do leave with residual energy good to go and the shield to hide behind. The opponent like, nah, I don't want the smoke, and they concede the match. Heading into the next battle, we see Marowak in the lead position. Grimer on Mud Slap essentially functions like Nidoqueen, a Mud Slapper that gets shit on by all the other Mud Slappers. I say switch into Sableye, baiting out Fearow, and so far it looks like RPS and very much not in my favour. The Fearows are almost full health as well. They've only taken a double resisted fast move pressure, and we are looking in a dire situation. I'm going to send up Grimer. Look to the damage sponge. If the opponent drill runs me, I'm probably going to get one shot, thankfully. It's just a drill peck. The opponent then attempts to catch a sludge. Sludge attempt unsuccessful. And we've got a slim but fighting chance. Or at least we should have. If Scopely had actually attempted to fix this game this season. Hello? Nope, we'll just concede. You're probably going to win anyway. Moving on to the next one. We'll lead Grimer into Ludicolo. You'd think a poison type into a grass type would be good. However, if you're going to run Mud Slap, you're not actually that great into grass types. Especially ones that are using a fast move that hits you for neutral. I'm on an ABB team, so it's not like I really need to complain. I say switch into Sableye. The opponent fires off the Weather Ball. They're now actually able to make a very nice catch. Well, I guess I was going to throw the foul play at this pancake anyway. And it's nice to bait this out too. I've already decided, much like the first battle, that I just about won by the skin of my teeth. We're going to look to 2-shield Greninja and hope to cheese our way to victory. You can see the Mud Slap damage has certainly put this in a range where I believe potentially 3 Water Shriekens will knock out. Not that I've used Shadow Greninja, but I hope that's the case. Unfortunately, it's not, so I'm going to fire off the Night Slash and go once again fishing for the boost. The opponent chooses to invest that Protect Shield, looking to force one of mine. I'm more than happy to oblige. Can Shadow Greninja pull off the sweep? Well, buckle up, because we're about to find out. Out comes Celio. Celio going to be greeted with the Night Slash. We get the boost, and oh baby, we are off to the races. I instantly pop up that Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Body Slam. I overfarm, fire off the Night Slash. Celio, you sir might think you're thick, but clearly you ain't thick enough. Back out comes Ludicolo. The boosted Shadow Greninja fires off the Night Slash, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the last battle, we saw the downside running Mud Slap. We're pretty bad into grass types, however, Steel would double resist poison. But as we're a poison type running Mud Slap, you better believe them Steel types will be running for the hills. The opponent say switches into Jellicent, and I answer with Sableye. I obtain a shield advantage, and that is literally all I want. The opponent baits with the Surf. They are going to outpace the next Surf, and you know what? You can absolutely have Sableye. Once again, we're going to look to roll with Greninja. Greninja not going to be too bad into that Steel Penguin. The Metal Sounds will be resisted. We can hit for neutral with the Night Slash, as they can hit for neutral with their Dual Pecks. The opponent saves Jellicent, make the catch, onto Charger Bug. I pivot back out into Grimer. Grimer going to overfarm, trap the opponent into the charge attack priority. They do not win. Shout out the GOAT. Home Slice Henry for that quote. Sludge picks up the knockout, back out. Comes Jellicent. Jellicent going to be greeted with the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. The opponent's doing some nice dancing around, but I'm not entirely sure what they are hoping for. We've got a 2-0 shield advantage. The opponent makes yet another catch, but essentially just playing the inevitable out at this point. The list of win cons for my opponent are very short. I could lag out, which clearly is still very much a thing. I lagged out like 2 battles ago, or me having a heart attack. Thankfully, I'm alive and well. No heart attack has occurred, at least not to this point in my life. Greninja fires off a couple of Night Slashes, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we have found ourselves a problem. We are very ABA weak to this thing. Grimer not going to be particularly good into Moltres. Hitting for double resisted with the Mud Slaps. Sableye also not going to fancy his chances. To be honest, I really didn't know what to do. I do stay in, land a Sludge, which is decent for me. The opponent run an Ancient Power, which are actually able to survive, which is good. Them getting the boost, very not good. We pivot into Greninja, which definitely isn't the safe switch, but it's not like I go Sableye. I'm kind of just coping at this point. Out comes Scizor. Greninja heavily overfarms, fires off the Night Slash. The first one, forced to protect shield. I look to fire off back to back in case the opponent spams their charge move. They do not, but they're looking to bullet punch farm down. They're unable to do it. Greninja reaches yet another Night Slash. There's a one-hit KO. We're unable to Water Shriek and farm down Moltres, but we definitely have a chance here. Greninja doing all the heavy lifting. Oh, God. Oh, God. It's all going wrong. Greninja set me up for victory. I then try and make a catch, which went terribly. I then throw on alignment. And now the opponent's going to reach 2 moves. And I've essentially thrown the battle. I shield the first Bone Club. The second Bone Club should be knocking me out. Nah, just kidding. I'm a rank 1. Sableye, the absolute get out of jail free card. 0, 15, 15, baby. Caught all the way back in 2020. And I'm able to take that game. Confirming the washed up allegations, one of the most scuffed endgames you're ever going to see on YouTube. In the next battle, we see Dunsparce in the lead position. I attempt to catch a drill run onto Sableye. My catch attempt is unsuccessful. The opponent does opt to drill run and opt to stay in. Again, a rank 1 Sableye able to tank back-to-back drill runs, and I fire off the Dazzling Gleam. A few seasons ago, Gleam was more energy efficient. I know Foul Play's got reworked. I'm not entirely sure if it is or isn't, but I fucking YOLO'd it anyway, and it got them deep into the red. I don't want to reveal my third just yet, so I send back out Grimer, maximise farm, throwing on CMP, winning CMP, and removing Dunsparce from the field of play. Out comes Jellicent. It's going to take them 4 hexes to their first charge move. So stay in school, kids. Learn to count. We make the catch onto Greninja. I was pretty smug there for a second, but as it's Go-Go in the back, I'm essentially fucked. I fire off the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon lands for decent damage, but I think the damage is already done, or at least to me anyway. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to win this battle. They've got 2 shields, I've got 2 shields. I think I should let this go. But I didn't really intend to play more than 2 sets. We're going to have some fun here. We fire off the Sludge. I'm going to attempt to Mud Slap farm down. We need to reach 3 moves against Jellicent. I guess best case scenario, the opponent isn't going to be able to 2 shield flex. There's the shield. We're going to YOLO a BM Sludge for no reason whatsoever. We get Hex Farm down, and that one, of course, does end in defeat. You can't win them all. Heading into the next one. Apparently, these Go-Go's are like London buses. You don't see one for ages, and then you see 2 consecutively. I literally played 2 sets. These are all the battles I played with the team in the order I played them. So they were literally back to back. Go-Go fired off the rock side. The opponent then pivots into Ampharos. Who the hell sends an electric type into a Mud Slapper? They don't even shield the Mud Bomb. Ampharos made a very brief cameo appearance. Back out comes Go-Go. Grimer fires off the Sludge. Grimer absolutely popping off. It's Jellicent in the back. I show him Sableye and the opponent's like, nope, I'm out of here. And I take that game. In the next battle, we see Scizor in the lead position once again, and not a particularly bad matchup, especially as I'm opting for Mud Slap rather than Poison Jab that would be double resisted. I attempt the Night Slash catch onto Sableye, and in a weird turn of events, the opponent's actually the one that's able to make a catch, completely trolling me. They send out the ever-annoying Vulture Mandibars. Mandibars gets absolutely clapped by a Dazzling Gleam, as it's actually a decent-ish matchup for Sableye. Honestly, Mandibars is such a pathetic, sorry excuse for PvP Pokemon. It hits like a wet noodle, is forced to dump yet further energy. I was going to try and double resisted Mud Slap farming down. My opponent like, nah, have a wham bam combo play, but Grimer tanks the Night Slash, fires off the Mud Bomb, able to knock out, and I am spamming the switch. It's now Greninja versus Furret. We've got 2 shields apiece. We've both got a potential sack swap, and you know what? I am fishing straight for that boost. I fire off the Night Slash, and this time no boost does occur. You know what they say though, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. Boost please? The game like, nah, you've given up on Pokemon Go, you're not getting any luck today. Switch time is going to be popping up now. My opponent's already weighed 1 catch, so look at this for a play. Jamie Finn, washed up allegations, put them in the bin. The opponent tries to make a catch. I smell it a mile away. Send back out Grimer, fire off the Sludge. We've got the Hydro Cannon locked and loaded, and it all comes down to this. Does Shadow Greninja hard enough to pick up the 1-hit KO? Of course it bloody does, and I take that game to round off back-to-back 4-1 sets. GG's to my opponent. For those of you wondering, these battles were played around 25 to 2600 ELO. I really haven't played much whatsoever recently. I still haven't even done the 500 battles. I'm pretty rusty, but I think it's safe to say that Shadow Greninja is hella fun. Both Sableye and Grimer also very much worth the investment. But both of mine are level 50 respectively. Grimer best buddy boosted today to level 51. So very expensive picks. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. I don't post all that often anymore. But if you like this video, they're all going to be full of trash talking. They're all going to be quite fun. This is exactly what you can look forward to. As always, a huge thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.